I'm Jennifer and this is Emily, and today we are going to make the Charlotte Bra Ham and see if you can find the pun in that name. So what we're going to be needing is you're going to need this pattern, and this is a free pattern that you can download on my website, and it's called the Charlotte Bra Ham, named after Charlotte's Web and being a ham. And then you're also going to need some flannel, some cotton flannel, and some heat resistant padding. And so I don't have a lot of this. I might put together a couple little kits just for this stuff, so you can make one, because I'll have really no use to have all this. I've been holding on to this since I first designed my bra ham. I'm going to pause and cut this out a second ago. So this is the bra ham that I made probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And my husband actually cut this out of wood as the base. And we discovered, because we were going to make these and sell them, that that was just not, it did not make sense at all. Because to cut that wood with the amount of time to actually cut it and make it perfectly round, I think was like $60. Because it took him like 2 hours to do, stuff like that, plus the wood. So anyways, this is about what we're going to do. We're going to make a modified version filled with beans, and we're going to have a bottom on it. So that's got this bottom right here.
Beans are cool.
Okay. So you're going to have 4 panels for the top. So you're going to cut 4 pieces of flannel. You can actually use all the same one. If I do little kits on this, I might actually do a square of each one of them until I run out. This is just a little piece I have that it looks like I've got enough of those, but not enough of this one. And then some of your heat resistant. So I don't know if you can see in here, so the seams on the cotton part are right here, but the seams on this one are here. And that's just to help keep some of the bulk down. Okay, so let's get started and cut out our patterns. You want to get a pair of scissors?
Yeah.
You can cut the other one.
I will. Cutting is my best thing.
Okay. Right on the lines.
Outside line.
Outside line. Okay, so I'm going to start with my heat resistant. I actually have some other heat resistant, just a flat fabric. We just don't want it, especially if you're going to be covering on wood, we didn't want the heat to come through. Plus this just gives a little added protection. Okay, so we have here, and honestly it doesn't matter what grain you're using. I think I just kind of cut them in wherever they would fit. So I've had this for 5 years since I started this project. And I can't believe it's taken me 5 years to put these 2 little tiny pattern pieces into the computer. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do a drawing, and you're going to have to comment on this post, or comment on the video, probably what is something that you recently finished that you started like years ago. So what you recently finished but started years ago. So I want you to comment with that, and then I will pick one lucky person at random to get the one that I'm actually making. Okay, so I got 2. Pieces.
Can I cut out one?
Probably not, honey. We got to be pretty precise, and I want the video to not last too long.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I just want to help out.
I know you do. And she's hanging out here in lieu of actually watching a movie she wanted to watch. Okay, so Emily, what fabric should I use? Should I just do the striped fabric since I don't have a lot of that one, and do the whole thing striped? I think we can do a pretty pattern with that. Give me the striped one.
I want to do striped in other colors.
I think we should just do the striped one.
I want to do it mix and match like that one is.
Yeah, but what we can do on this, which can be fun, is we can make it so 2 of them, the stripes go this way, and 2 of them, the stripes go this way. Does that sound like a deal?
Or we can do one with like that.
You want them to come at an angle?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to feel like I'm going to have to match up the lines. So I'm going to do it so I've got 2 this way.
You know you can fold it.
It is. Fold
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so then it's easier.
Yep.
I need
Definitely
to make
easier.
I needed to make sure.
Well, Mommy's always going to try and do what's the easiest, but most efficient. Easiest and efficient. So stuff that actually gets something done. So we're going to have 2 in that direction, and then we'll do 2 in this direction, just to mix it up a little bit. Okay, do you want to go make sure that my machine is threaded with white thread? I think right now it's got black thread in it.
That I can thread it.
Okay, yep, I know you can. So we're going to pick back up over at the sewing machine in just a moment as soon as she gets my machine threaded. And this one we can do, you can really do anything. It doesn't even have to be the flannel. You can actually just use a piece of scrap because it's going to be on the bottom. So I'm going to go grab something from my scrap box and do that. Okay, so I'm going to be using this fancy new foot I just got that is a 1/4 inch gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these pieces and sew them together, and since I want to have them kind of alternating, I'm going to take 1 of this, and I think this fabric is the same on both the right and wrong, well, kind of. Okay, so we're going to take and, actually I want the flannel out. Okay, so I'm going to line these up, and sewing at 1/4 inch all the way down. I'm not too worried right now about the back stitch since we're kind of going right to the edge. And that's not working because it doesn't want to go through the machine. Okay. Smaller, no, stitches are good. Okay. There we go. Oh, kind of like the new foot. So I'm going to sew one side, and then I'm going to sew another side of these. Doesn't matter which one. Okay, and then we're going to sew 2 of these. So we're going to sew with the shiny sides together. Come on. Did I lose a piece? I lost a piece. Okay, and then this side. Okay, the next steps are going to be at the iron. Once we get these ironed, then we can start sewing them together. Okay, now we want to press all of these seams open with a little bit of steam. Come on, open. Probably just steamed up the camera. So So get that pressed open. As you can see, I started melting it. Too much heat right there. Actually, I may have too much heat on there. It's actually melting my heat resistant. Not sure why. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be heat resistant. Just gets nice and flat. Okay, and then the cotton. We also want to press these open. Come on, get them open. Okay, I'm going to leave the iron on, and then we're going to go back and do another stitch. Okay, now we're going to sew across this top. So it's possible that this heat resistant stuff, I just totally messed up over there because I was talking. It's quite old. Okay, and then with my right sides together, I'm going to do the big side. And then I'm going to press those open. Okay, then I'm going to take and press my seam open again on this direction. And I guess what I could be doing is I could be using the other ham I have as my ironing ham. But you won't have that, so show you kind of what I need to do in order to, but if you have a regular ham, which I think I do, might help you get around the tip over here. Get that seam at the top. Kind of hard to see, the camera's too close. Okay. Won't do that for the other one. So this one is definitely, we'll have to see if this is going to melt still. Maybe a little less. Nope, still melting on me. So, maybe this is not the right stuff. Probably regular foam could work. Okay. So, what we're going to do now, I'm going to come back over to the other. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to align them so they're kind of crisscrossing in the opposite direction. And I've got a pin here. I'm just going to stick a pin here to kind of hold it in place. And then wrap this all around. So then the edges should all line up once we stuff it. Maybe a little better too. So what I'd probably even say is let's go around, stitch around the edges, just right on the edges to kind of hold the two pieces together. Okay, so that's all held together. Now we are going to have to do some hand sewing. So what I'm actually going to say is I would actually like to sew this on here probably about 3/4 of the way. So in order to do that, plop it inside of itself. You may need a few pins to kind of make sure that you get it kind of around all the edges. And let me find my pins. Okay, so I've got my pins. I'm just going to walk them around the edges. And for some reason my pattern is off, I will fix it before I release this pattern. But I believe should be correct because I did the math. Because we want to have this yep, perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna leave probably about this much open. And then I'm going to stitch all the way around the edges. So you saw what I did. I flipped it kind of on itself. And this I would actually sew with a back stitch. Okay, and I backstitch there at the end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it right side out. Right, not too tight. And then we can either fill it with, you can fill it with beans, rice, scraps, whatever you want to in here. I'm going to go see what we have in extraordinary amount of, and then I'm going to stuff it, and then I'm just going to hand stitch it closed. So next thing you'll see is me stuffing it. Okay, so I looked in my cabinet and I was going to fill it with pinto beans, but we use them often. So these beans are so old. It says sell by 2018. So these ones we shouldn't be consuming anyways. So we're going to use these to fill. Although, you know, beans are beans. Okay. Oop. I guess worst comes to worst, you can always open up your thing and eat it. I know. I shouldn't have done that with my good scissors. Okay. It's getting there. And this one we already cut, so it looks a little bit better. Oops. So yeah, this one's going to be a little bit heavy. Yeah. My husband's going to come in here and say, why are there beans all over the place? Let's see. I can probably squeeze a little bit more in there. Keep losing some. Okay. I think that's close. Let's see. A little bit more in. Okay, that should be good by now. Okay, so I'm going to fold this piece under, and I am just going to kind of stitch it with my pins. And then I'm going to go back and hand stitch this closed. And of course, if you have a piece of cardboard or a flat little piece, something in there, you can actually put that in the bottom. But as you can see, it makes nice, and actually because it's beans, it's a little bit more flexible than the one I have that's pretty hard. So I probably could have gotten a little bit more in there, but to me, that looks pretty darn good. So there's my bra ham. I'm going to hand stitch it. You don't need me to show you how to do that. And then we have a bean bag, so when you're actually not using it as a bra ham, you can also use it as a pattern weight. Thanks for watching. If you would like to have more content like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment below. Thank you very much.